Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we've got a mission really getting into the weeds on some serious networking gear.
That's right.
We're looking at the EnGenius EWS7952P FIT. It's a 48-port switch. The idea is to break down the tech specs, figure out what it really does, and also look at the vendor-listed HDTV Supply, see what their angle is.
Exactly. It's more than just, reading specs off a page. It's about understanding the thinking behind a switch like this. High density. What do those 48 ports actually mean for you? And what's the value when you go to buy it?
Okay, let's start with the raw power, the muscle here. We've got 48 gigabit Ethernet ports, and they're all PoE plus compliant.
Right, power over Ethernet plus.
Which means they can push out, up to 30 watts each. Good for those power-hungry devices. But the really key number seems to be the total power budget, 410 watts.
Yeah, and that 410-watt budget, that's really, that's the critical thing for figuring out your limits, right? What you can actually plug in and expect to power up.
So is 410W considered a lot? Or just average for this class?
Well, it's a solid amount, enough for a pretty good mix of, say, HDIP cameras, maybe some higher power wireless access points, definitely a whole bunch of VoIP phones running at the same time. You do have to calculate your specific needs carefully, but 410 watts is a strong starting point for a dense setup.
Gotcha. And it's not just copper ports. I see here 4 gigabit SFP ports as well. Now, with 48 copper ports already there, why add these fiber SFP ports? What's the benefit?
That's your backbone connection. Your insurance, really. SFP means fiber, typically. So that gives you the high-speed, long-distance links you need to connect this switch back into a larger network, maybe a core switch or another building. It stops this big 48-port switch from being, an island.
Okay, makes sense.
But the spec that really jumps out, the wow number, is the switching capacity, 104 gigabits per second.
104 Gbps. Okay, put that in perspective for us. What does that mean when you're actually running traffic?
It means no traffic jams inside the switch. Basically, it's the total bandwidth the switch fabric can handle. 104 Gbps ensures that even if all 48 ports are trying to talk at full gigabit speed simultaneously, the switch itself won't become the bottleneck. There's enough capacity to handle it all. That's crucial.
So full wire speed performance across all ports.
Exactly. And they mentioned jumbo frame support, too, 9,000 bytes. That helps move big chunks of data, like video streams or backups, more efficiently, less overhead.
All right, so it's got the speed and power, but it's also listed as a managed network switch. Now, for our audience, that implies layer 2 control. So what management features should someone deploying this really focus on?
Right. Managed is key. It means you have control. Being layer 2, you get things like VLANs, virtual LANs, essential for segmenting your network, maybe separating departments or types of traffic. That's basic but critical.
And for optimizing traffic.
Well, it mentions link aggregation, or LACP. That lets you bundle multiple ports together for more bandwidth and redundancy, maybe for those uplinks we talked about. And Auto VoIP stands out.
Auto VoIP.
Yeah, it automatically detects voice traffic from phones and prioritizes it using QoS, quality of service. Make sure your calls don't get choppy just because someone started a big download. Very important for businesses.
Makes sense. And security looks pretty solid, too. I see radius authentication, DOS attack prevention, storm control listed here.
Definitely. These aren't just nice-to-haves. They're pretty essential in a business environment.
Yeah.
Radius handles user authentication properly. DOS prevention helps ward off common attacks. And storm control, that's vital.
Why is storm control so vital?
Imagine one faulty device, or even just a loop you accidentally create, starts flooding the network with broadcast traffic, a broadcast storm. Without storm control, it could easily overwhelm all 48 ports and grind that whole segment of the network to a halt. This feature prevents that. Yep. And you get these tools, whether you manage it via the cloud or locally on-premises, which it supports both ways.
Good flexibility. Okay, let's pivot to actually buying this thing. The source points us to HDTV Supply for the specific model, the EWS7952P FIT. They mention HDTV Supply has been around 24 years, focused on AV and pro gear.
Yeah, that suggests they're established, probably know their stuff in this space. And the details are clear. The switch is listed as in stock. The price given is $656.48.
$656.48. For a 48-port managed PoE plus switch with a 410W budget. That sounds pretty competitive, actually.
It does seem quite reasonable for those specs.
Are there any specific perks buying from HDTV Supply mentioned?
Yeah, a couple things. They offer free USA shipping, which is always nice, especially on heavier hardware like a 48-port switch. And there's a potential 5% discount if you pay using a check or wire transfer instead of a credit card.
Interesting. A bit old school, but a saving's a saving.
And importantly, it confirms you get the standard EnGenius factory direct warranty. So you're
Yeah.
covered there.
Okay, so wrapping up the picture. High-density switch, 48 gig ports, 410 watts of PoE plus serious 140 Gbps throughput, proper layer 2 management and security. Available now for around $656, free shipping, potential discount, full warranty. Seems like a solid option for a major network deployment or upgrade.
Definitely ticks a lot of boxes, but there is one more thing the sources mentioned, sort of a final point for you to consider.
Oh, what's that?
They also list a very similar model, the EWS7952P FIT. Still 48 ports, still managed layer 2, but the big difference is the power budget. It jumps way up to 740 watts.
Wow, 740W compared to 410W. That's a big jump. What's the price difference?
The 740W model is listed at $782.98, so you're looking at about an extra $126, give or take.
Right, so for roughly $126 more, you get, what, an extra 330 watts of power budget?
Precisely. So the final thought for you as you're planning is, do you need those extra 330 watts? Are you planning to run devices that really push that PoE budget close to or over the 410W limit? Or is the 410W model sufficient? That's the next level calculation you'd need to make based on your specific device requirements. A crucial decision point. Do you pay more for the extra power headroom up front or stick with the standard model if it fits your load? Something important to mull over.